Hi, Matt Perger here again, Brand Ambassador for Eversys, and today we're running through the ETC function of the Cameo machine. So this is the extraction time calibration, extraction time control, espresso time control. Everyone has a different name for it, but they all do the same thing. We're going to be controlling the amount of time that it takes to extract our espresso recipe. So this machine is constantly watching the amount of time it takes to push our required water through the coffee, and then it adjusts the grinder to slow or quicken that flow of water so that our recipe is correct. So to adjust the ETC, we go into the menu, select Beans and Grinder, and then you'll see at the bottom we have ETC, Extraction Time Control left, and Extraction Time Control right. That's for each of the two hoppers up the top, and at the moment they're both on. Now we're going to enter the ETC configuration. And it's going to ask me which product I would like to be our reference. And that means which recipe is going to be the core recipe that it always draws information from. Now, if we have a lot of different recipes with different amounts of coffee and different amounts of water, they're all going to have different resistance. They're all going to take different amounts of time. We can't request that the machine makes sure that all of those recipes extract in the same time. So we need to have a consistent recipe that we use to dictate our espresso time. Now, what I've done here is selected the double espresso as our main recipe. And what we've also done is made sure that every other recipe that uses a double espresso is exactly the same as what we're using for our ETC product. And that means that the machine is going to have more chances to calibrate itself throughout the day. So we'll press the right arrow, and now we get to choose our desired extraction time. Now this has a window of 3 seconds above and 3 seconds below. Now this doesn't mean that the machine is happy with a shot that's 3 seconds above or below, but it's always striving for the number that we select, but it's going to be acceptable if we deviate just slightly. But always remember that the machine is really trying to hit that number as often as it can. So we'll select 23. You can adjust that number with these arrows here. Select 23, go to the next screen. Now we'll turn automatic mode on. This means that the machine will continue to brew espresso until it's done. And I'll press this button here, and you can hear that the machine has started brewing espresso. What it's going to do now is make espresso after espresso after espresso, calibrating the amount of coffee in the brewing chamber and the grind size to make sure that our espresso hits 23 seconds. Now you'll notice a little bit of information on this screen, like the grinding capacity, which is how many millimeters of coffee it's filling up in the grinding chamber per second of grinding. There it is now. And you'll also see once an espresso has been completed, how much coffee was in the chamber. If it's green, it's the correct amount. If it's red, it was out of spec. And also, of course, the shot time. And it'll constantly be adjusting until it's done. And once it's done, we can exit the menu and continue on with our shift, or just let it do its thing. Now that we've completed our ETC calibration, we can see in the menu here that we have a few different recipes that are exactly the same. Now if we navigate back to the home menu, we'll see this little icon in the top right-hand corner. Not only does it show you which hopper you're using, but it also shows you which products are ETC reference. So that little stopwatch icon in the top right means that each of these coffees will help provide the ETC algorithm with information. You'll notice the top left, this single espresso button, doesn't have the stopwatch icon. That means that it's not going to be providing the ETC algorithm with any information because it's too different. If we go back into the products and keys menu, if I adjust this Americano button to be even 0.1 millimeters different on the cake thickness, you'll notice that now the stopwatch icon is gone. That means that it's irrelevant for the ETC algorithm. So always make sure that as many products as possible are on that same ETC recipe, which means every setting must be the same. And then you're going to make sure that your shot times are much more accurate, no matter which product buttons your customers or staff are using.